All right, all right, all right. Listen, listen, listen. This is Kelvin from KDDcode, the Matrix Mind of a Man. Today I find it quite troubling that I have to do this, but I'm going to do this one just in case to give some information out to the community of those people that choose to be married or choose to be in a long-term relationship, whatever floats your boat. Not necessarily important to me. However, but I'll give you the information. You can use it accordingly or as you see fit. Today I'm going to talk to you in regards to a subject that most people tend to stay away from. But I'm not. I'm not. I've been gone for quite some time because, again, I'm planning my retirement. So I'm doing a lot and I'm traveling a lot. But nevertheless, I'm back because I want to talk about something. I was on a panel recently, and the panel was in regards to when a man begins to move silent. I tell you what, this is the thing. When a man begins to move silent, that doesn't necessarily mean that the man is about to crash out. What it means is the man is about to become dangerous. Not in a negative way, not in a violent way, howsoever, what he begins to do because he feels like he's been isolated. He feels like he's been betrayed. He feels like he's been let down. He feels like he has no support. He feels that he's all alone. And it doesn't really matter whether he's in a relationship or not. That doesn't matter, ladies. I wish you all to stop thinking because you are there, that's enough, because it's not. Actually, you all become a hidden burden when a man feels that he needs to move in silence. Let's address this subject. It's not often that men get the opportunity to express themselves in regards to the things that they're feeling, the things that they're going through, the things that they think about. Howsoever, I rather keep my composure and keep quiet so that I'm not judged accordingly to feminists or the feminine movement or the emotional side that a woman sends to express. It is quite okay for a man in which to express his feelings and you don't believe or don't treat him as if he's being soft. But see, this is the thing. As we were growing up as children, in my era, what would take place is this: if a man or if a boy at that time, would actually have a boo or have a mistake or fall or hurt himself, the first thing that a woman would say if a man was not in the house is, "Get up, shake it off." Boys don't cry. Boys are not supposed to cry. You're a man. You're going to be a man. Don't cry. That damaged a lot of men in their elderly and older age because it was not true. A man is able to cry. A man should cry. A man should not hold in all of his darkest, deepest deficiencies simply because he don't choose to be judged as being weak. But that's what you all do. Because you all got it confused with femininity and masculinity. Those are gender roles. That's what they are. They're not based upon emotional things. That's based upon a man being a man and being masculine because he's a man, and a woman being a woman and being feminine because she's a woman. What does emotion has to do with any of this? And that's the confusing part. Every time I get in worship, I cry. Every time. Because I know that I'm so incomplete when it comes to the eyes of the Father. When I have a disagreement and it hurts me, it saddens me, I don't have a problem with crying. When I'm at a funeral, someone has passed away, I don't have a problem with crying. But when it's time for a man to speak, that's a problem. A man moves in silence simply because he's afraid to express himself because of how he will be judged. That's it, ladies. I've given you all another nugget. So this is what needs to happen. What needs to happen is that I truly understand that a man is supposed to be a safe place for a woman. I understand that. And that is the way that it is supposed to be. However, a woman is supposed to be a safe place for a man's emotional downfall or pouring out whatever it is that he needs to do when that time comes so that he doesn't feel like he is being judged. Because guess what? The minute you judge a man in regards to his emotional pouring out, you begin to lose interest in that man. Because you see that emotion as being a weak component, of a man's attributes and character. And guess what? You dead wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. And if you don't change, you will never have a successful relationship or a marriage or a long-term boyfriend, whatever the case may be, because you all think that you all have to be hard in the aspect of seeing what a man is. A man's man is someone that has a 360-degree control over his entire being. And when I say entire being, that's exactly what I mean. His mental, his spiritual, and his emotional, and his physical. The women on this panel were saying that men move in silence because they are supposed to. Men move in silence because they are afraid to show their deficiencies. A man moves in silence because don't nobody want to hear that shit. But every time the woman has an issue, we have to open our ears to not only hear it, but attempt to, if we can, fix it. And give her a place to where it's okay to be vulnerable. But y'all don't do it for men. And then you ask yourself, why are men out here doing whatever they doing in these streets? Why I can't get a man that's committed? Why I can't get a man that won't be loyal? Why I can't get a man that won't do his job? Why can't I get a man that won't provide for me? Why can't I get a man that won't protect me? The reason why he won't protect you is because you are deficient. You're judging. Men, let me tell you something. You have every right to every emotion that you ever feel. And if you are ever caught on the carpet after you express it, that person is not the person for you. Boom, take off. I demand, in any relationship I've ever been in, that you are going to accept 360 degrees of who I am, right, wrong, or indifferent. If you seem or you tend to have a problem with a man showing his soft side, then maybe you need to go and date somebody else. And let me tell you what's crazy. What's crazy is that a woman will come against a man for showing his soft side or his sensitive side to a point to where they say, okay, well, I don't like a man that's soft. But then you will go and you will lick on a woman. Oh, God. Confusion is at an all-time high. I want to repair the relationships of our community. I do. But I think that I have to address the problems first. Today's problem is stop shutting your man down and holding him accountable for anything that he say that you tend to think is soft. Because it's not soft, it's life. And life don't give a damn who you are, male or female. A man feels betrayed, ladies. After he invested so much, and you come at him like that, he feels betrayed. That's the truth. So what happens when that takes place is that you begin to get less of that male. Wait a minute. Less. But then your key things, ladies, that you all use is why you don't do this anymore. Why you don't act the way you used to no more. I'm getting a lot less than what I got in the beginning. You're right. You did. And you are. And you is. That's the thing that young people say. It is. Whatever. But nevertheless, but that's because at one point or another in a time span, whether it was close or far in this relationship or in that relationship, you've made him feel abandoned. Because just because you're there, that don't mean nothing because you can be replaced. It's not about being there. It's not. But see, it's a two-fold to this. Let me tell you the other fold. The other fold is that when a man moves in silence, not only does he feel betrayed by the person he's with, but he begins to feel betrayed by his own friends. Because you see, friends will say, suck it up. Man, get over that B. Man, don't worry about that. Man, that's nothing. That's small to a giant. Man, you gonna figure it out. Man, you always come through. Man, I got your back. Just be quiet. How easy is it an ingredient that is that simple? When someone is expressing themselves to you, just be quiet. They're not asking you to talk. They're asking you to listen. So listen. Ladies, the same thing goes for you. We're not asking you to fix no problem. We're just simply asking you to listen. How hard is that? Oh, it's hard for a woman. Oh, God, that's so hard for a woman. But that's a whole nother different podcast about that one. I'm going to do that one too. But nevertheless, this is what I want to say to you all. What I want to say is that I want you all to begin to support the 360-degree entirety of your man's existence. because that's the only way you get out what exactly you need. Exactly, not partial, exactly what you need. So when your man comes to talk to you, be quiet unless he asks you for a comment. Be quiet. Show interest. Show that you really care. Show that you want to help him get out of this dark place that he's in. And you do that by saying nothing. Because the more you talk, the deeper the hole you go in. Because that means most of the time it is judgment or judgmental when a woman speaks when it comes to a man in his state of weakness. Okay. That's cool. Y'all can continue to do what it is that you all want to do. And when you do this, then you do understand that you get less of a man. So when you think you're building, you're breaking down. Women don't build infrastructure. Men do. Let's make that clear. Period. Point blank. That's what we do. And we're not asking you to do our job. What we're asking you to do is be silent and listen and support. That's it. Because you have no idea, as a woman, what it feels like to be betrayed as a man. You can't even begin to fathom what it means. But these women on the podcast that I was on, that's what he's supposed to do. We don't want to hear him whining. You're right. And we don't want to hear you all ask us for things that are outside of the provisional states of a marriage. I said it. Marriage, not relationships. There is no obligation for a man to do a goddamn thing in a relationship, even in an engagement, until you take his last name. But you want to understand something? Even though men are constantly put down, stabbed in the back, constantly by women, judged constantly by women, betrayed constantly by women, men still stay tall and stand 10 toes down on it simply because they understand that you just don't know no better. But I'm here to teach you. Ain't that a good thing? Yeah, I got you. I'm going to take care of you. I got you. I want it to be as it used to be. I do. Because I watched and I've learned. My uncles, because my mom was not married. My grandmother was, and my granddaddy passed away before I was born. But not once can I say that I saw the men that were in their lives ever belittled, in spite of what they had did. Now, they may have talked about it outside of his presence, and that's totally fine. But they never talked in front of his presence. They were silent. And at the end of it all they would say is, "You got this. I love you. that impacted those men greatly to continue to put on the whole armor of God and dwell in this world that we live in and carry the burdens that you women can't remotely understand. I was deeply saddened, but I'm not surprised. And that's the saddest part of it all. I'm not surprised of the things that I heard on this podcast from our women. We don't want to walk in silence. We have no choice but to walk in silence. Because it moves from being in silence to being in a dark place. And that's a place that you don't want to put a man, because the only way that a man knows how to respond in a dark place is with war. And with war means any kind of physical contact. With physical contact means any kind of hurt, harm, or danger, or jail. Ladies, get it through your mind. What I need you all to do is to keep silent and simply to support your man in his space of silence. That's it. That's all I need you to do. If he don't have, he don't have. Let me give you another nugget. And I'm gonna give you one more. You want to know when a man walks in silence for real? It's when he's asked to do something and he's incapable of doing it. If it is important. If it is important. Because a man that's in a relationship that loves his woman, his main goal truly is to give her everything she wants. Not need, wants. So when you all come to him with a problem that you all are going through, and he doesn't have the resources in which to handle it or take care of it, that puts him in a place of vulnerability, because he becomes to think that he's less sufficient at this particular time and point, which is temporal. So he begins to move in silence. And he begins to talk to his boys. He begins to call family. Because he wants to come up with a way out of this. Not for him, but for you. Because we understand that everything that we come through for you, that builds your ability to trust me in adverse situations, which simply means at the point if you choose to take or get chosen to answer the question, will you marry me, you will be comfortable enough to say, I do. Is that not simple? Now you have it. I've given you that just as well. Stop talking and keep quiet. I promise you, you will have a giant to what you have now. If you only just be there, be quiet, and support. That's it. And support doesn't mean you talking or trying to talk through it. Because at that particular point, or that time span, right then, at that moment, he chooses to hear nothing. He just chooses you to listen. Now, if you want to circle back, that's fine. Because at that particular time and point, he's not an very, easy, I won't use the word emotional, a very easy presence about himself. So his guard is up. because he's angry. He's frustrated. He's confused. And all he needs to do is be heard. Nothing's an absolute. I'm not talking for every man. I'm just talking for some of the men. That's all. And what me, Kelvin, the host of KDDcode, the way that I have experienced life in my 58 years. And I've done it all. I've traveled the world. I was a Marine. I am a Marine. I was a police officer. I am a police officer. I was a sheriff deputy. I am a sheriff deputy. I am that I am. I am a child of the Most High God. So, I just had to add that in. The Spirit led me to say that. I want y'all to do better, ladies. I need you all to do better, ladies. Because I see men out here walking like zombies. And I'm not talking about on anything at all, but just life. I see them out betraying to be happy, but not happy at all. I see them out trying to mingle, and even them trying to mingle seems to be quite awkward, and that is because they're moving in silence, and that is because they're still contemplating their situation, because when it was that they brought it to their lady in which to talk about it, she began to speak, which brought about judgment, which then made him feel even less than the position that he was already in. But yet he goes out and he looks for some kind of companion or some kind of acceptance or some kind of force that will make him feel a little better. And then you ask yourself why they do what they do. I'm done. This is getting way too heavy for me. Because I'm tired. I'm tired that our community is constantly breaking down. When I say our community, I'm talking about our community in regards to relationships and in regards to marriage. That other stuff, don't care about. I'm done. I've said enough. I fear that I go on any further that I will begin to offend certain people. And I never want to offend anyone. I just want to give the information and allow you to use it as you see fit, or allow you not to use it as you see fit. Either which way, I'm going to say it. So, I want to thank you all. For those of you that have subscribed, those of you that do listen, those of you that give me just a small minute. Because I understand that minutes are something you cannot get back. That is the only thing that is irreplaceable. So thank you. I want to grow the platform. I do. I would like for you all to comment. I would like for you all to like and share. I would like for you all to tell other people about the trash that Kelvin taught on KDDcode. But what I want you to tell them out of everything is he keeps it 100. He keeps it real. He tells you exactly what it is, a mind of a man. Not all, but the mind of a man, the processes they go through in the thought process daily or doing any or dealing with any adverse situations in any relationships. Tell them that much because I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to give it to them. And I'm going to give it to you because I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. So, I'm not sure, but I believe the like button is going to be over here. The bell, when I talk my trash, and I love talking trash, is going to be over there. And over everything, listen, you all. I'm not just talking to be talking. I'm talking because I truly want a change. Thank you all again for listening. This is Kelvin, the host of KDD Code, the Matrix Mind of a Man. Y'all be blessed.